Ruthlovestoknit podcast. I'm Ruth and I love to knit. You're very, very welcome here this morning. It's the 13th of April 2023. As true British podcast style, it has been blowing a gale for 2 days, but there is some blue sky that I can see from my craft room window. So there is hope that things might brighten up today. But as it's April, I'm sure April showers will be in full force, no doubt. As I say, you're so welcome here today. Now, right at the start, I want to put a disclaimer in because this is not going to be a normal show your whips, show your finished objects podcast. So if you want to go and do something else, I don't worry about that at all. I want to give you warning. This will be a travel update. This will be lots of lovely yarny haul from my birthday and from my trips. This will be answering a few questions that came up on Instagram, because despite having been in the car for many hours, for being in a couple of flights, I have got very, very little to show you knitting wise. All will be revealed. I have one finished object, which is a mindfulness shawl, which I have shown you 3,955 times, and it's a gift, so I don't really want to show it on here yet till the person's got it. So that's going to be the kind of podcast it's going to be today. Maybe it's not even a podcast, a wee knit and natter. So if you think you're up for it, do go and grab your cup of tea, cup of coffee, whatever, grab your craft, and we'll just get started. I just wanted to share now, because with my brain I could forget what even happened. So I thought, a lot of people have been asking, obviously if you watch my Instagram, I did take you with me a wee bit. You'll know, if you're long time viewers, that I cannot video stuff for the life of me. It seems to be just not in my skill set. I make a muck of it every single time, but I hope I did put some photographs and bits and pieces up on my Instagram that you were able to see, and a lot of you said that you enjoyed coming along with me. Yes, so since the last time I've seen you, I've had a birthday, I've had a trip home to Northern Ireland to see my family, and I've had a trip up to Scotland. Now, considering I have literally not left this house other than to stay in hospital since before lockdown, I'm shattered, and I'm sure you can see that I'm shattered. I've had a great time, but yeah, it was like nothing and then everything all in one go. So I'm going to share a wee bit and pieces about it, show you some of the beautiful yarn that I've got into my stash. I will say I am no spoiled person in the world. I have the best family and friends in the world, and I feel truly, truly blessed. And like everybody, I'm not going to show you this stuff to say, look at me, look what I've got. I just think I love seeing haul videos. I love seeing what people have. I get a kick out of it. So if that's your thing, again, please stay. If it's not, we'll see you next time for other nonsense that I like to talk about. So I have my coffee. I hope you've got yours, or your tea. You might need it. Incidentally, in a wee mug that I got for my birthday. I have to turn it around the other way because, oh no, I'll not be able to show you. There's writing on the inside. As I drink it, I'll show you what it says. I'll pour it all over the floor if I do that. So I definitely need a black coffee today. Anyway, I have so much stuff around me. If you follow my Instagram, you will have seen the mess of my craft room. It is much tidied up, but I think some of the problem is I don't always tidy up after my podcast is finished, and then it piles up and piles up and piles up, and then I have to do a big deep clean. So I did show you the before and after photographs, and it is much better, but I do have quite the pile beside me. So let's stop talking rubbish and get on with it. Well, first of all, I have to say what I'm wearing. As I said, I had a birthday, and I have a lovely friend called Hannah who has a podcast. Please go and check her out. It's Hannah's Happy Space on Instagram and on YouTube. Lots of M's today. And she is genuinely the nicest person. I've been very blessed to have her as a friend when I've moved here. I'd be very lost without her and her mum and her sister and all the rest of them. But she had worn a cardigan the same as this, but quite long, and I'd said to her, would you make me one of those? Because there's no craft she can't do. She's a absolute wizard on the crochet hook. So it is crocheted, you can see, and you all know I don't crochet. She presented this to me. I had offered to pay her. She wouldn't, and she came, we met up just before my birthday because I was going away for a wee while, and she came with a wrapped up parcel for me. And I am known to cry when I receive things. So she did say, do you want to open it at home or do you want to open it here? Well, everybody was wondering what was in the parcel because we were with our knit group. So I opened it there and of course, cry. And this is what I'm sitting in my rocking chair, so I might fling forward if I, or there's a cushion down there which is going to fall. Oh, it's all so professional. So this is the cardigan she made me. Oh, that's blowing out. It's so bright, it's blowing out. And it just comes down to there. It's not as long as hers. And my own ironed dress. That was lovely for you to see. And I have put this on it, but just for now, because I do want to keep it closed, but I think I will get sort of something to put there. But she said she couldn't really put buttons on it. I think I could. I think I just want one sort of big button there. Anyway, so that's not permanent. That's a shawl. That's a shawl thing. Anyway, if you want to know about this cardigan, if you are a crocheter, go and watch Hannah's latest podcast. She talked about it there and showed a dodgy photograph of me. But I absolutely love it. There's flowers in the title of the knit, but I mean, come on, it's a bit of me. It really is. I've worn it several times. I've worn it to meet up with them again, and I absolutely love it. And it's quite cozy, although I could do with a wee thing around my neck today. We had beautiful weather when we were up in Edinburgh, and since we came back down to Devon, I've been frozen. So we have to knit something that matches one of these colours to wear. But thank you very much, Hannah. I already obviously thanked her. I was absolutely chuffed to bits, and I absolutely love it, and I do wear it. So it's a wee bit of brightness on my podcast today. So love it. Anyway, that's what I'm wearing. As I say, I only have one finished object, and it's not even here, so we'll not bother with that. So yes, I had a birthday, and on my birthday I travelled to Northern Ireland. If you've watched before, you know I had 2 previous aborted trips. So it has really been about 4 years since I got over. And even when I was on the plane, I couldn't quite believe it, that I was actually going. And I got a bit emotional as we touched down, not because I miss Ireland, but just the fact that I was on a plane, I felt well, I was going to have some time. My kids weren't with me, which is the first time in like 15 years. They've travelled without me, but I haven't travelled without them. And yes, it was all a bit bizarre. My brother and his fiancée picked me up and took me to their beautiful new house. It's not so new to them anymore, but I haven't seen it. And I had a beautiful day with them, lovely day with them. And we got a lovely Chinese meal at night, and my nephew and his girlfriend came, and it was just lovely. I hadn't seen any of them for such a long time, and it was just fun to sit and talk and laugh and reminisce and talk about my granny and all this sort of stuff. So that was really nice. And then went to stay with my parents for the rest of the time. And we had a lovely time together. My parents are feeders, I've discovered. Everything revolves around when we're going to eat and what's going to be for food. And we had to tease my mum about it. I think I came back about 75% bread. And I got my Vitas, and I brought those back in my suitcase. And if anybody doesn't know what a Vita is, go and Google it. Too hard to explain. And it's sliced and it's in the freezer, and I just take one wee slice out at a time, and that's my treat. So Ireland was lovely. I didn't do any yarn shopping. Didn't hardly do any knitting in Ireland either. My parents are the most energetic 80-plus-year-olds in the world, but it was just lovely to get out and about and just see. I saw my uncle and aunt and different people. So yeah, a real good catch up with some, but very, very short. I was only there Monday and I left first thing. They had me at the airport for about 7:20 on Friday morning. So it was a real whistle-stop tour, and maybe didn't see some of the people I would have liked to have seen, but I felt like it was a trial, you know, right, I can do this. And back on the plane, back over to Exeter on the Friday, and we did a very quick wash of all the clothes and packed the car and was in the car up to Edinburgh on the Sunday. Now, as you know, I live in the southwest of Devon. Please, please, please have a project because this is going to bore you to death. I live in the southwest in Devon, and Edinburgh is in the north in Scotland, is the west of Scotland. And we drove, the first day we drove halfway and stayed with friends in Harby, just some mission workers that work with us in the mission, and then we drove on. So we managed to do 552 miles. And I did very little knitting because there were so many road closures and so many exit closures that I had to navigate. And Sally, our sat-nav, was not cooperating. So I didn't get a lot of knitting done. And then while we were there, I know many people feel they can knit in you know, meetings with other people, but I don't feel that that's the thing I can do. So on Zoom, yes, but not in real life. And we had a great time together. It was lovely to see our fellow mission workers. We hadn't seen them in person since before lockdown. And yeah, it was just really special to spend time together, eat together, pray together, talk together into the wee hours and renew fellowship together. And the kids had a ball too. There were kids their age there. In fact, it was only from Monday to Thursday lunchtime, and most people had gone by about 2 or 3. And my son was so tired, he went to bed at 3 and slept through till I think 9 o'clock the next morning. Didn't murmur. So I think that's a sign of a good time. So on the Thursday when they all left, we were like, let's go do something, let's go and explore. And I think we were all we bought frozen pizzas. And we were all took an early night. We were exhausted, but it was such a good time. And I think we'll save up for flights for next time. But anyway, so that was the Thursday, and then Friday. And I obviously wanted to go and try and get to some of the yarn shops in Edinburgh. The place that we stay is so accessible to the city centre. Just a wee bus, straight in, straight out. I've done it many times. I've been to Edinburgh many times, from childhood right up. We obviously lived in Scotland for 5 years, so we have been there, but we tended to just sort of go to Princess Street or the local area where we stay. I hadn't ventured too far, to be honest, and the weather was glorious, absolutely glorious, blue skies nearly every day, and so really good walking about the city weather. And I had arranged to go to Ginger Twist Studios with lovely Amy Palco from The Meaningful Stitch, and then Rebecca of the Crea podcast, where it was going to meet us too. And my daughter was very keen to come with us, Eva. She's a keen crocheter, as you probably know, and she was keen to come too. And so I got my husband to drop us off, thinking that it was hard to get to. Some days I really even shock myself with my stupidity. Anyway, I found out later that it's a very walkable distance from the centre of the Royal Mile in Edinburgh, where I could get a bus back home. So felt a bit of a twit, but you live and learn, don't you? So anyway, we met at Ginger Twist, which is, I will put a photograph up. Now, I was going to put lots of photographs up through this video, but it's going to take 1,000 hours to download. So I'm going to show some on my phone and put some up. And I'll put a wee picture of Ginger Twist, and you can even see from the photograph how tiny it is. I mean, my bathroom's bigger, I think. If you're claustrophobic, it might not be for you. There was about 4, no, including the lovely lady who served us there, and Amy and I and Rebecca filled the shop, really. So it's very compact and bijou. People were waiting outside to come in, so I didn't feel pressured, that's not right, but kind of felt, oh, you know, this is a popular place. And my daughter actually just waited outside because she was a bit overwhelmed by it. But wow, they have packed every corner of that wee shop. They really have. It's a long wee shop, and but as you can see from the photograph, is just what you see is it, that's it. But what a selection of stuff they have on the, as you go in the door on the left hand side is I didn't take video, I didn't even know how to take video to get to capture what it was like. And on the left hand side is all the hand-dyed ginger twist yarn, and it's all hung in hinks, so it's not twisted into a skein. So and then on the other side is other British breeds, all the different, well, they've got West Yorkshire spinners, they've got all different types of stuff, all in, you know, the cubbies. And they've got a massive selection of books, which are all down low. They've got notions, they've got they've a lovely ladder, which I presume you could get up to, because it's from floor to ceiling. Presume you could go on to get something, but they also have stuff sitting on it. But it doesn't really impede you moving in and out. I mean, it's literally, I can't even explain it. It is a lovely wee shop. It's definitely a destination, because there was people there. I could hear different voices, accents, languages, oh yeah, I mean, it was lovely, but very small. But very accessible to get to, so that was lovely to know. And I did a wee bit of damage, so we'll show that in a wee minute or two. And it was lovely, as one thing was lovely to be able to look through books. I don't have an awful lot of access. Our wee shop, the Woolly Beater in Oakhampton, does have a good wee selection of knitting books, but they don't do line and different things like that. And I was able to look through some of the books that I was kind of querying about, you know, because I could only see the pictures online. So I have maybe purchased a wee few books as well. We'll show you that as well. So that was lovely. And then we went for lunch, and we went to a lovely wee art cafe, and with Eva and I had a lovely bowl, lovely, everything's lovely. A bowl of soup, so that was and then we knitted while we waited for the lunch. Then we had a coffee, and we knitted a wee bit longer, so a few hours we spent together. And then of course we had to get the, you know, the photograph if I can put it up. And Eva took that for us, bless her. So just a lovely few hours spent together. They are, as you see them on the screen. And we talked about all sorts of things. They were lovely with Eva too, and she's still talking about it. And then she will love Amy Palco forever, because Amy realised that Eva loves to read. That's probably her favourite thing, although she did crochet when she was with us. And she said, "Do you realise there's a massive bookshop at the end of this road?" And Eva's eyes absolutely lit up. So we wandered up to we said goodbye, and we wandered up to the bookshop, and it was indeed a reader's paradise. Eva still had Christmas money left, and I sat down at a lovely wee table overlooking the street, and apparently if I'd asked, I could have got free tea or coffee, I suppose, but I didn't. I'd already had my coffee that morning. And Eva I just let her go for it. I think she bought 6 or 7 books, and then she realised she had to cart them all home, which was heavy. But as I was sitting, of course, my knitting was out. Excuse me, sorry if you hear the gulps. And my knitting was out, and a lovely young girl, well, young to me, probably in her 20s, late 20s, came up and said, "Oh, you're knitting." And I was ready for is it crochet, is it knitting? My granny does that. Not at all. She worked there, and she was the knitting book buyer. So I was telling her about podcasts and everything, and she's such a lovely, lovely girl. And she directed me into the knitting book section, and she chose well. I didn't buy anything there, but the Toppings and Topping and Company has some amount of knitting books, and really good knitting books. So I talked to her for a wee while, so that was lovely. And she directed me then, she told me about another 2 knitting shops. So I blame her. I did get to one of them because I'd spent all my money. But I did get to then Kathy's Knits, and hopefully I don't think I have a photograph on there. Let me see. I'm going to be like the grocery girls and look at my phone here. So if you can see, that's the sign for Kathy's Knits. And Kathy's Knits is down, you would nearly miss it. And actually we were walking down sort of looking at my phone to see directions, and Rebecca actually bumped into us again, and she was then able to get us on the right street. But it's in like the old Victorian houses where they would have servant quarters down steps, and that's where it is. So it's quite atmospheric, and it sells all the Scottish wools and all woolly wools, you know, Jamieson Smith, all that sort of stuff. And the lady, I don't know if she was Kathy herself, but she was so helpful. And I bought some wool there too for project. For most of my wool is for a project, for projects, with projects in mind. So I bought some more there. This is Ginger Twist Studio. You can see it's really tiny, but and those people were about to go in. And beautiful day, really gorgeous day. So that's, I hope you could see those photographs, because as I say, if you put photographs in your video, it takes 100 hours to download, and there's a lot more to go. This is going to be a really chatty one. Anyway, so that was the bones of my trip. The way home, we didn't get, I think it's Inspired Knitter, didn't get to that. I thought, yes, my money's gone, don't need any more, that'll be for another trip. And we then came home on the Sunday. We drove the whole way, 9 hours door to door, and got a good clear road, and bless my husband, he drove up and he drove back. We discovered, as I blasely said, oh yes, we'll share the driving, that I'd never actually driven his car before. I have a little puddle jumper, he has an estate car. And I said I would drive, and I would have driven, but he said he was fine. I did put him over several times, so yes, he maybe valued his car and his life. So I really need to get some practice in his car in case we have to do that again. So that was our trip. It was great. I was absolutely exhausted when I came home, peopled out, tired, all the rest of it, but it's Thursday now, and we're all good. So that was the trip in 22 minutes. I'm just saying, if we yeah, I think that's everything. So what did I get? Right, I've got it written down here so I don't forget. Right, well, we do birthday yarn first, because that came first. So excuse me as I stretch. Ooh. So this is John Arbon Mill did a collaboration with one of my favourite dyers, and it was only accessible to mill members, so I cheated a wee bit, and I asked my friend who is a mill member to get this on behalf of my husband. This is getting very confusing. On behalf of my husband for my birthday, and we obviously reimbursed her. So this is what I got. It is from the Wool Matters Fibre Co. Wee bit, it's not her usual tag, but it's not very clear. And this is Tulip. It's from Devon. She lives just outside Bristol, I think, Clevedon. And it's blue, 50% blue-faced Leicester, and I can't read it. 30% BFL, need new glasses, 20% Wensleydale, hand-dyed with plants in harmony with the earth. She does all of her botanically dyed. So I really love it. Now, this is not, it's showing up too orange. But anyway, I will see it when it's knitted up. And that was from my husband for my birthday. Didn't he do well? The Wool Matters Fibre Co. So thank you, Caroline, for sorting that out for me. So that was that. Then another friend bought me this gorgeous wee project bag. And this is from, it's like a canvas material. It's really lovely. This is from Tea Cake and Make, and she's on Etsy. I will try my best to put everything in the description, but if I don't, just ask. And it's a drawstring. It's really quite sturdy with a box bottom. So it's probably a shawl size, a small shawl size or sock size. So I thought that was very spring-like. Colours aren't showing up great today because it's dulled down again. Sorry about that. Not great for when you're showing colourful yarn. Then my another lovely friend. Now I got other birthday non-knitting related stuff, but I won't show you that here. Another one of my lovely friends. I was talking to her and them, and they'd seen that I'd got a couple of skeins of this particular yarn for Christmas, but I think I couldn't decide what to do with it, and she bought me enough to make up a sweater's quantity. So this is Fluff Fibres, lovely. It's called Emerald Noir. She actually, I think, has a sale on at the minute. And I have 5 of these. It's DK, so I will make some sort of sweater. It's quite a plump DK actually, although it's 243 meters, but it's really plump. Look. So maybe not now. It'll go into the stash. I'm thinking spring now. Spring knits. That's, you can see the variegations on it. It's coming out black. It's a really lovely dark green. There you can see. So she bought me 3 of those, and I had 2 already. Then, just coincidentally, I don't think it was for my birthday. No, it wasn't, because I had them for last podcast, because I'm a twit. As you know, or if you don't know, I'm going to tell you. I love candles. That's my 3 things: candles, mugs, and yarn. And I was sent a candle quite a while ago by this company, which is Aura Beads. Sorry. And it is 100% my favourite candle. And it's not just because I was sent it. I absolutely love it. It's peppermint. Actually, let me see what it is. Peppermint, wild orange, peppermint, eucalyptus, wild orange, peppermint, eucalyptus. Peppermint is probably my favourite smell and flavour. And she sent me that, and I think that's what I said, and that's why she sent me it. She has since sent me, I bought one for Christmas, and she sent me another one along with that, and she's since sent me another 2, but a wee bit different this time. And the one she sent me this time, and the other thing I'd like to say about it is, I buy Yankee candles, I buy all these sorts of candles, and they smell gorgeous when you smell them, but when you burn them, they smell of nothing. These are gorgeous. We had closed all the doors while we were away, excuse me, including my craft room door. Now, I hadn't burnt that candle, maybe the night before we left or something. And when I opened my craft room door, all I could smell was peppermint. It was absolutely lovely. So this is the other one she sent me, this Handmade with Love Peace candle. And the flavours of that, it's a lovely blue thing. The flavours of that are infused with essential oils of lavender, clary sage, geranium, and chamomile. There you go. And it help reduce stress and bring deep peace. My husband would say, what stress do you have? So I'm keeping that one, but she sent me another knitting candle. If you remember, that's the label. And I will have to give this one. I can't keep all of them. So I was given a lovely mug for my, I was given the mug I'm drinking out of. Then I was given this beautiful mug, which I have looked at so many times, by my brother and future sister-in-law. And the lighting. This is a handmade mug from... Oh, that's the other wee thing. Oh, now it's on the floor. It'll never be. Excuse me. There we go. This is a handmade pottery mug by Ruth Moxen, who's from Northern Ireland. And inside, look at this. It says, I am beautiful. I believe in myself. I am loved. I am lovable. I am abundant. I am grateful. I approve of myself. Forgive and let go. I set myself free. Life is good. I am happy. I am joy. I am peace. And that's all in the inside. Now, this is not going into circulation in my mug cupboard because I have a weapon of mass destruction in my son who will annihilate this. This will be used, washed by myself and brought back up. It's not shown. It's true yellow. And that's what they give me. And they may have given me the most wonderful chocolate in the world, which is white chocolate cream eggs, but they're long gone. All my family is feeders. So that wee mug came in a box. What is the upshot of that? And I now have a lovely wee box to put a candle in. Now I think I'll have to keep it to the UK because I don't know how this would travel worldwide. And I have some stuffing and love knitting. And that'll be for a future giveaway. I promise I won't keep them all. And then some of you saw my daughter had crocheted these beautiful flowers for me for Mother's Day. They're still sitting on my desk. And she has got mock GCSEs starting on Monday for 2 weeks. And obviously her friends and her are a bit anxious. And she made them these little fidget toys. It's a little frog. If here. It's got a hair clip, you know, the snappy hair clips that you put in. And it's a wee fidget toy to help with anxiety. And she made me one too. It's much more yellow than it's showing up as well. Sorry about the colours today. And just keep it in your pocket and you can play with it if you're a bit anxious. And she made those. That was the kind of the prototype. They've changed a wee bit since then. But she made a whole load of them for her friends. So that was, I mentioned that in my last podcast, and that's the wee. So that was my birthday goodies. Spoiled rotten. I'm not going to show you that now without tipping my tea up. It's got scripture text that says hope and faith. And the scripture text is, so now wrap your heart tightly around the hope that lives within us, knowing that God always keeps his promises. Hebrews 10:23. And it's a good big size mug. I love a good big size. So that was a present as well. Right, from Aura Beads also sent me. By the way, I had this before my last podcast. I had it in my notes. I had it sitting beside me and I forgot to mention it. Menopause. She sent me some stitch markers too. Little gemmed stitch markers, which I will be using. So that was very, very kind. And I really do appreciate it. And nobody has to send me anything at all, ever. But that was really lovely. And we've had such rough weather. In fact, last night our power went off for quite a while and I had my candles burning. I do think I need to buy some candles that don't have any smell because it was a bit conflicting. But thankfully the power came back on and all's good. Okay, so let's see what I got in Edinburgh. Now, I had saved some Christmas money and some birthday money and some... Maybe went a bit over. I had cash. They were laughing at me. I brought an envelope with cash in it because I just find if I keep cash for these sorts of purchases, then I don't go overboard. I don't lose the plot. I know some of you might say I did lose the plot. So let's see what we've got. So this is the wee bag I got, a wee souvenir bag, I suppose. Ginger Twist Studios, Edinburgh, Scotland. I love the colour of this. And these were sitting on the... I have to apologise for scratching. I have seemed to have developed a little small allergy to something either in our washing, in our... in what I'm using. And it's just a wee bit, not desperate, but it's making me scratch my face. I apologise. I need to sort out what it is. These were on the ladder thing that I was telling you about in the middle of the shop. So I pulled one of those down. Now, on the day that I was there, Rebecca Clow of Corral podcast brought out her Corrin cardigan. And I thought, imagine being with the designer on the day that she brought out her cardigan. And this is her cardigan. Lovely lace. Rebecca takes such a good photograph. And you can do short sleeve, you can do round neck, you can do V-neck. And I had bought it in the morning and was meeting the designer in the afternoon. And I thought, well, I buy some yarn to make it in ginger twist, all linking in, and that'll be my memory of my lovely trip up to Scotland. And that's what I did. So I saw this. I am obsessed with this colour. That is a true colour. That is beautiful. I'm obsessed with this colour at the moment. You know, I have a Felix on the needles, which has no more work done on it, in this colour. And I just absolutely adore it. It's beautiful. So it's from Ginger Twist Studios. It's called Birdie on the Shoulder. Not sure why. Tweed Treat DK. 100% merino wool, 225 metres per 100 grams. 246 yards for those who use that. And you'll see me coming, but it just jumped out at me. It really did. Now this was skeined up in a cubby, so I got 4 of those to make the short sleeve version of the cardigan. So, and then I wanted a little souvenir, like this wasn't enough. I wanted a wee souvenir yarn. And this is what I got. Now, that's not even, yes, that's it. Like a tealy green. And this is also Ginger Twist Studio, obviously. And the colourway is Voyager. And it's 100 grams, 400 metres. 50% baby alpaca, 25%, 50% baby alpaca, 25% linen, 25% silk. That's certainly, it's not that colour that's showing, it's not, it's a lovely green, that's it there. Isn't it funny when you pull it back? So that'll be for a special project that will remind me of my wee trip, like the 4 skeins that I got already, won't. Then I will show you, I got a couple of books, I'll show you those in a minute because there's going to be rustling and people don't like rustling. So that's the Ginger Twist. And I bought a couple of other wee notions for my yarn swap partner who is in Sweden, and I'm sending that off today, I promise. It's not late, but it's later than I normally send. So I had to get a box to put it all in yesterday, and the rain was so bad yesterday, the box got wet. So I had to dry it out. Oh, the life in towns, if I had real problems, it would be. So that's that from Ginger Twist. Then I went to, sorry if my rocking chair's banging. Then I went to Kathy's Knits. Now, probably if I'd gone there first, I would have spent most of my money. That's probably, yeah. But I went there second, so I spent the rest of my money. Excuse me. And there will be rustling because I've kept it in a bag. Oh, okay, let's find it now. I bought this for, well, I'll show you my souvenir yarn first. So I got 2 of these from Uradale Yarns, jumper weight, organic native Shetland wool, 50 grams, 173. So that's my souvenir yarn. Again, it's like a deep, that's it there. So there's enough for a wee shawl or something. And it's lovely. It's rustic, but it's not itchy. And this is a very special. She told me this was very special. It's from Clover Heath, and it's a very limited. Here's it there. Our flock of native Shetland sheep graze from the heather hilltops down the valleys to the grassy pastures by the seashore. Uradale Farm is completely organic. The off-farm scouring, spinning, and dyeing of the wool are also organically certified. The dyed yarn colours reflect the landscape of Uradale. It was all that sort of thing. Our natural colours are unbleached and undyed, and they're quite simply the colours of our sheep. She didn't have any undyed, but I just loved that. So I've got 2 of those to make something. Then I have been wanting to make, see if I can find this. No, that'll be the big thing. Excuse me, talk among yourselves. Come on, quick. The Paul Klee's, is it? Paul Klee's? That's what I want to find out. I've got it here. I know I have because I had it in the shop. Oh, come on. I love this picture. See the colour work? Like squares. Love that picture. And as you know, it's from Tin Can Knits, and as you know, Tin Can Knits do from nearly baby up to large, very man size. And I have looked at this and looked at this and looked at this, and I decided to get the sweater quantity. And I got the yarn that they used. They used it's either Jamieson's or Jamieson Smith, I don't know. But I already had this comb. Sorry for the rest. I already had this beautiful comb. Again, it's 2. Or what that was. It's a wee bag of lavender. That's that. So that's my main body and sleeves. I've had this for quite a while. In fact, I swatched with it for something ages ago. That's the swatch I did. Oh, I don't know what I was swatching for, but it's gorgeous. See the lovely heathered. So that's that. And then the colours, I didn't want to have, I think you can have up to 25 colours, and I didn't want to do that. So I bet you can make the 2 colours, you can make it whatever. So I'll show you the colours. She was so helpful. She spent ages helping me. She had a lovely, comfortable sofa. So Eva sat there and read a book Let me see if I've got all the colours. No, there's another colour and that colour. Is that them all? There's the other ball of the Uradale. So put that away. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, yes. So I'll show you the colours she helped me pick out, and I've double amounts of them so that I can. And this is the. This is what my colour work's going to be. Pretty close to what it is. That's a bit redder, but that's pretty close. Now I won't be able to show this with, will I? With it all going pinging off. So that's what's going to happen, but probably not anytime soon. And I think the Paul Klee's sweater comes with a colouring chart, so you can work out your colour the way you want to have it. And that's what I did. The Paul Klee, it's not Klee's, I think John Klee's. So the Paul Klee sweater by Tin Can Knits, and it says colour circular yoke sweater with colour work, very simple. And that's the lovely, you can see the beautiful wee girl. So we'll see how that goes. That's not going to be anytime soon, as I've got lots and lots of whips on the go at the minute. And then we went to visit the castle. We were too late to. My granddad fought for the Argyll and Southern Highlanders, and his name is in a book in the castle, and I've never seen it. And for all the times that I've been to Edinburgh, I've never gone into the castle. It's quite expensive, but we decided this time, my son loves history, and we decided this time we'd go in, and we were too late to book tickets, so next time. But we walked right up to the castle with all the other tourists, and we were coming back down, and the just the noise, the bustle, you know, bagpipe playing, all the rest. It was very atmospheric, and I decided I needed another wee souvenir, and I went into one of the shops a bit away from the castle, so it got more expensive as you moved up to the castle, and I got this wee Harris tweed bag for, it's meant to be a wash bag, but you know what I'll use it for? It'll be my handbag knitting. It's nice wee leather back to it. It wasn't that expensive considering, and it's box bottom, so it'll fit a sock project perfectly. And that's my wee off, what would you say, out of budget wee bag. And it's gorgeous. I love it. And it's just perfect for putting a sock project in. So that was my treat, me birthday treat over and above money that I'd saved. So, and that was the Chancellor of the Exchequer allowed me to buy that. So that was my Scotland purchases, apart from just popping these, not throwing them on the floor and popping them in a bag, apart from some books. So let's see the books. Now I had been watching Amy's podcast, and I had seen this, and she showed, again, it's Scottish. It's the Journal of Scottish Yarns. I mean, I lived in Scotland for 5 years. And my only regret of living there is we lived just 40 minutes above Aberdeen, and we could have gone over to Shetland, and we didn't go. That was my only regret. But you know, when you're in Scotland, you feel like you want to do all things Scottish. So I bought this. Now it was you know, not cheap. I think it was £22. But there's some gorgeous patterns, both crocheted and, like, I'm going to crochet them, crocheted and smell of a new book, crocheted and knit. There's Highland cows you can knit. There's a lovely crochet sweater there, Hannah. But I'll show you what, I won't be able to find it now, will I? This beautiful shawl. There's several beautiful shawls, but what I really loved about it is there's history. It's a reading book, so to speak. It's like, you know, a souvenir again. There's a story of tartan. There's I mean, look at this. Look at this. History, love it. Haven't got the chance to read it yet. I keep meaning to get a coffee and sit down and read it, but I really will. And one of my favourite things, there's a wee postcard in the front of it. So I got this from Ginger Twist. Actually went to look for it, got a bit overwhelmed, forgot about it, and we were walking down past the shop on the way to the bookshop, and I went in and got it. So that was my last purchase in there. And I think and again, I paid cash, so the girl was like, oh, okay. I mean, there's just, you know, the history of where a lot of the yarn comes from. I just love it, and the smell is just gorgeous. So that's the, there's several, there's a new one coming out, but this is the one I wanted. This is issue 2. I think it's, no, I want to say quarterly. Would it be quarterly? Autumn, winter 2022. It's handsome young devil on the front. That's one of the crochet jumpers as well. So that was one of my purchases. Now, the next purchase I have looked at for ages online, and it's Sark by Kate Davies and Tom Barr. And I just couldn't get the measure of it looking at the pictures online, but oh, she had a lot of Kate Davies books. I mean, look at that shawl. Oh, and it's size inclusive. That's what, you know, she's a slim little, I imagine she's elfin. She's maybe not, she's maybe really tall. And her and Isabel Kramer are very slim, and they both make wonderful patterns for larger women. So I don't know why everybody can't. But anyway, I've got this. I want to show you the other jumper. Gorgeous. Again, smells lovely. So that'll go with my collection of books that someone has asked to see sometime, but it'll not be this podcast. And then last but not least, I got this from my own local yarn shop, only Yoking, and it is top-down knitting patterns for 12 seamless yoke sweaters. And of course, I should have, that's the one. Look at that. Love it. So we'll have a look through that. I only got that yesterday. I'd asked her to get that for me. So that's all. That's everything. That's all the incoming. Isn't that fantastic? Definitely all the incoming, isn't it? So yes, that's all the incoming. Spoilt rotten. Yes, spoilt rotten. I hope you enjoyed looking at that. I hope you'll keep watching to see what I make with it all. Sorry if you hear banging. My son's bedroom's next door, and they're obviously still off for Easter. I was asked a few questions. I will just do a couple of them. I put a little boxes up on Instagram to see what people want, if people could fill in a podcast of questions for me. But I'll just do one, which I suppose is, and I'll do the others whenever we do another one. And somebody asked me about spring and summer teas, which I am all over at the minute. Although I want to put something warmer on now. This cardigan itself is really warm, but my neck, you know, I like my neck, something around my neck. So let me get the photographs again. So I was sworn off test knits because my brain's mush. But I couldn't resist 2 test knits that are, and most of these, my choices aren't even out yet, so it gives you time to think about yarn. And lovely Leah Amber Knits I've joined her test knit for the summer sorbet tea. Oh, I've already started knitting it. I haven't got it here. Is the most meditative, simple knit. It's just lovely, and she's got a few. You can make the sleeves longer, you make the body longer, but that's the tee. Just a lovely little raglan detail there. So simple. I think a very good beginner tee. Very good beginner tee. It's raglan, but very good. I was also asked about that, if any beginner sweaters. I will be doing the arms a little bit longer because I have a muscly arm. Nobody needs to see that. So that's the one. And that'll be out, I think, in June maybe. And then the other one is the Storm Seeker tea, Storm Seeker tea by Roro and Cades. Now this has only just started. We only just got accepted for this yesterday. Look at that lovely detail. And again, you can make the sleeves a bit longer. You can make the body longer. You see that? There you go. So I have a dilemma of which yarn I'm going to use for that. It's a great dilemma, isn't it? And I get cast on there. We're doing that on Discord, so that's been the first time I've used Discord, so it's been a bit of a learning curve. So those are 2 that will be coming out. Then the third one that's not out yet is the Crebe. Rebecca is test knitting the Toasted tea. I think she wants that out in May. And I saw hers, she was wearing it when we met up. And this is another version. It's just a very simple raglan tee. I think sometimes for summer teas, it's lovely just to show off the yarn. Or if you're wearing, or just do a plain tee, and then maybe you have a, flowery dress or shorts or whatever you're wearing it with. And you could knit this, all of those, you could knit them in cotton. And this is basically going to be a top, I think, that you can knit any style, any way, any shape, any design. Some people have done eyelets, some of our testers have done eyelets, some stripes, some plain. She was wearing a lovely striped one that's in her Instagram. So this isn't obviously finished, but this is one that she's done in mohair. So it's probably not for summer. And obviously she hasn't finished the sleeves, but that's the toasted tea. So those are coming out, so look forward to those. But then one that's already out and I've already knit and shown you is the salty air tea. I'm sorry if you don't like this, but I'm just trying to, I thoroughly enjoyed that and would definitely knit that again. That's a lovely bit of detail, but you probably would need something under. I'm not sure. Did I? No, I didn't. No. Yes, I did wear something under. I did mine in a lovely mint green. And then the last one that I have knit, didn't want to recommend ones that I haven't knit yet, you know. That's the Breezeway tea. The Salty Air tea is by Samantha Gear, and I'll have all the details down below. The Breezeway tea is by Laura Ilo. And, excuse me, I have knit this several times, but one of them I ripped out way back, if you're a long time viewer, because the yarn had pulled right in my stomach area and it looked like a Go Faster stripe, if you remember. So I really would love to cast another one of those on. It's very quick as well, and it's quite size inclusive. And then Isabel Kramer, any of Isabel Kramer's tops, you can just do short sleeves. Very, very simple. Isabel is by far my favourite designer for size inclusive, the tee, and for fit and everything. So have a wee look at hers and just do short sleeves. And then you can use cotton. You can use, Rebecca was knitting in cotton when I met her. You could use, you know, I would wear short sleeve cardigans and tops all year round, whatever you want to do. But then the other question, of course, half the world's starting to go into spring, half the world's going into winter. And warm weather knits, well, obviously my Felix sweater, that has, you know, I didn't go out for 6 to 8 weeks over my operation, so I didn't need a lot of warm sweaters, but my Felix sweater has just been on the go constantly. The Fall Frolic, that's one I thought you could make into a summer top too. This lady has made by Samantha Guerin. I made it in purples and kind of mauves, and you just do short sleeves. But I really liked it for layering up in the winter. And then anything, Espace Tricot has so many free patterns of beautiful winter designs, but one of the ones, and it sort of answers the next question, is the gingerbread sweater. Just a really simple sweater. And that was another question, beginner sweaters. I think anything in DK, anything in Aran is a winter sweater. And next year I'll certainly be knitting more of them. I haven't needed them with flushes and stuff up to now. Beginner sweater was the other question. I used to knit loads of the Millie sweater by Nice and Knit, but you can't seem to get that anymore. But I still have the pattern, so I'll probably knit a few more. That's a short sleeve sweater. And again, Isabel Kramer is so well written. Maybe the EDT, or any of, you know, give it a go. And if you're a beginner, just ask questions. Use YouTube. Go into your local yarn shop, ask for help, just go for it. If you make a mistake, rip it out, sure, it's no loss, and you learn from it every single time. And yeah, I hope some of those, I hope it hasn't been off-putting just looking at pictures, but just trying to get this up. Yeah, so the other one, I knew there was one more, beginner sweater. Now, I haven't knit this, but everybody says it when I say beginner sweater, is the Flax by Tin Can Knits. You don't have to do this. And that's the other thing about patterns. They're patterns, but you don't have to stick closely to them. You can make arms longer, shorter. You can leave out bits. You know, I quite often, if there's colour work on the sleeve, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. You can make the body longer. You can... even if you're a beginner, you can make the body longer for yourself. You can leave out, you know, like the stripes on the sleeve, just don't do them. Just knit round and round, or do them. Just challenge yourself. You can modify things even as a beginner. You can very easily do things like that, and that is the good thing about Ravelry as well. If you can access Ravelry, which I am not good at doing, putting my projects on there. I haven't put any on for probably a year, but some really wonderful people write comments under theirs and put them on, and you can read if there was any issues, any problems, anything, and many of the designers are very helpful as well. So just go for it, just jump on, get the wool and the needles and just go for it. But those are a few of the summer teas that I will definitely be doing. When you're stuck on Sleeve Island and suddenly you can do some short sleeves, you're like, I'm never knitting long sleeves again. But I hope you've got some inspiration from those. And if there's anything more you want to ask, just drop me a wee message. I was asked to show my stash, and I sent a picture to Instagram, and I showed my stash very bravely, I thought, and I just thought I would share it here too. There's my stash. Do you like it? All my stashes in those boxes, just the IKEA, things. I am never going to show my stash. You see my stash as I knit it, because then I would realise I have a problem. But you see it as I knit it. So yeah, that's as good as I'm going to get. But yes, it's all in these boxes beside me, and I go through it every so often. I have lifted a whole load out to do a big destash if the sun ever shines, to get some photographs. So keep your eyes open for that too. Right, this is nearly an hour of nonsense. The giveaway, I'm not going to announce on this wee chatty, because not everybody will want to watch this nonsense. I will put it on the next podcast, hopefully next week, when I've got a bit more knitting done. The kids go back to school, and life is a wee bit more normal. I don't know what that is anymore, does anybody? Yes, so that'll be announced next time, so that everybody that wants to watch can watch. Hope this wasn't 100 mile an hour as usual. Thanks for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I know a lot of people have wanted to know about the trip. Thank you to Rebecca and Amy for meeting up with me. Sadly, I didn't get to meet Ez, who is so yarnlicious. Just run out of time. And maybe next time, Ez. But we had a great time. We had a fun time together as a family. It's great that we still love spending time together. Still didn't kill each other on the trip. And hopefully we'll get back up to Edinburgh and be on the plane next time, sometime soon. My husband's going, I think, week after next. He's going to Ireland next week to see his dad. And so there's just always stuff happening, but I'm hoping to get back into good old knitting. I've started the test knit for Leah. I haven't started the one for Roro and Cage yet, because I'm between two yarns, but you'll see that the next time as well. My husband's sweater, I'm not convinced he's happy with it. I knit about 2 inches on it when we were in the car, that's it. On the body, it's split for sleeves and on the body, but he looked over at me several times, and when you're married for a while, you know that look. I'll keep knitting it. I tried it on him and it does fit him, but I am not convinced that he will wear said sweater. Anyway, we'll keep knitting it. It'll go to somebody. Won't be lost. Listen, I'm going to head on. I'm going to package up the yarn swap box and get it away today. I'm going to get another cup of coffee, and yeah, just thanks so much for joining me. It's been fun to spend time with you today, going through all my travels and my yarn haul. All right, bye. God bless.